man, vessel in commerce, corporate fiction, legal entity, ens legis, or transmitting utility of, for, by, or to the United States of America, the government of the United States, the state of whatever your state is, or to United States Corporation. Pause video to read the entire page. By the way, according to current laws, as found in 12 U.S.C. Section 95B, everything the President or the Secretary of the Treasury has done since March 4, 1933 is automatically pre-approved by Congress. The actions, regulations, rules, licenses, orders, and proclamations heretofore or hereafter taken, promulgated, made, or issued by the President of the United States or the Secretary of the Treasury since March the 4th, 1933, pursuant to the authority conferred by subsection B of Section 5 of the Act of October 6, 1917, are hereby approved and confirmed. In other words, since March 4, 1933, no president has bypassed Congress. No executive order issued by a CEO, president, has been done without pre-approval. The CEO is free to issue any executive orders his central banker puppet masters order him to issue. When the government was officially bankrupt in 1933, the governors of all the states met to discuss what should be done. The state governors made a pledge to the federal government to fund the bankruptcy. They pledged the assets and the energy of the people belonging to the state governments. They would back the government and secure the national debt. But there was one problem. The states could only speak for the people in their public capacity. They could not pledge private, living human beings or property. So it was necessary to create a bridge between the living people and the creditors for the bankruptcy. The answer was to create straw men to stand in place of the people. A, the White House, cannot interact with B, a living flesh and blood man or woman, without the transmitting utility, straw man. Now, the only problem was devising a scheme whereby the people would agree to contract with the straw man as its surety. When the governors made the pledge, they agreed to register the application form for the birth certificates of the people with the U.S. Department of Commerce. The application form for the birth certificate is the security instrument collateral used to back the pledge. The straw man, the legal fiction, was created by using the name on the birth certificate and writing it in all capital letters, the designation for a legal fiction. Then, because of the pledge, the people were determined to be the representative and surety for the legal fiction. This is how they made us responsible to pay back the debt of the United States. When the government or any corporation uses any process whatsoever, they are using it against the legal fiction, which they want the people to think is them. But when a name is written in all capital letters, it is not the name of a real person. It is the designation of a legal fiction. That is an entirely separate entity. A living human cannot be a legal fiction, and a legal fiction cannot be a living human. One is real or natural, the other is created by law. Because the entire thing is based on paying the bankruptcy, the straw man is the debtor and the government is agent for the creditor, the international bankers and their descendants who own the Federal Reserve. Some people think the Federal Reserve banks are U.S. government institutions. They are not government institutions. They are private credit monopolies which prey upon the people of the U.S. for the benefit of themselves and their foreign and domestic swindlers and rich and predatory moneylenders. 75 Congressional Record 1295-12603. I believe the time will come when people will demand that this Federal Reserve System be changed. I believe the time will come in this country when they will actually blame you and me and everyone else connected with this Congress for sitting idly by and permitting such an idiotic system to continue. Congressman Wright Patman, Democrat, Texas, September 29, 1941. Congressional Record. I often ask, why does no one question the national debt? The government has the right to coin, make, print its own money with no debt at all, but instead it borrows it from the Federal Reserve, a private bank. Why? The answer is the entrance to the rabbit hole. And you might also ask yourself this question: why has a bankrupt nation with debt increasing $1 million or more every minute been giving military aid to Israel since 1949 on average to the tune of $10,500,000 per day? Whenever a government agency, such as a court, determines liability, it is a liability of the strawman since everything is done in commerce. The people are presumed, as evidenced by the pledge of their governors, to be the surety for the strawman, and they must pay the liability. Now let's see how the strawman benefits others. Our strawman is thought of as a transmitting utility, which we define as an agent solely utilized for the purpose of transmitting commercial activity for the benefit of the secured party. Government and big business have set up a system so that the only way a man can access the goods and services of the nation is through the strawman. The strawman serves as a utility through which goods and services may be transmitted to you. You are forced to interface with society through your strawman. You will notice that the strawman's name is used on virtually all public documents, including but not limited to birth certificate, driver's license, passport, social security card, bank account, checks and statements, credit cards, the checks you receive from your employer, legal documents, any letter from the government entity at any level, etc. You will discover that government agencies, banks, and other corporations, courts, and tax agencies deal with you exclusively through the strawman. These organizations insist on dealing with you only via an all-caps version of your name in any and all key documents, contracts, accounts, and agreements with them. One of the many benefits and services made available through your strawman is the Social Security number. The SSN is a public number associated with a public persona, your strawman. The SSN is a benefit because it allows you to open a bank account or to get a job. A federal law was passed in 1994 that made it a requirement to give your SSN to get a driver's license. It would be difficult, though not impossible, to do any of these things without using the SSN. All of these things and many more can be thought of as benefits granted to the strawman. But because these benefits come with a price, it should be obvious that the strawman has no body and that you benefit from the consumption use of the goods and services made available through the strawman. At this point, you probably do not hold title to your strawman. The redemption process, also known as the secured party process, can correct this problem. Since these things are true, it is also true that you are the one responsible for discharging the public liabilities associated with the benefits that you enjoy courtesy of your strawman. These public liabilities include but are not limited to income tax, social security tax, plus any and all debts that the strawman incurs. For further evidence that the strawman is not you, look at your personal checks. Here is an example of a check. Notice the all-caps name, John Strawman. You will not find your true name on your checks. Take special note of the signature line that ends with the letters MP, which stands for microprint. If you look carefully at the signature line using a magnifying glass, you will notice that it is not a solid line. The line is made up of some words and spaces that are repeated over and over again as shown here. Authorized signature only. Why? Because you are authorizing your strawman, the all-capital letter debased dog Latin name. As an aside, do an image search for John Doe personal checks and you will find numerous check images employing the upper and lowercase name. But just try to get a bank to send you your checks this way. They won't do it, and your insistence on that point will probably result in you not getting any checks. Nobody will format your checks as seen below, and having examples of checks on the internet with upper and lowercase letters is probably not an accident. The reason the signature line on personal checks is made up of the words authorized signature is because it is a physical impossibility for the account holder, your strawman, to sign the check. Remember, your strawman has no hands with which to sign the check. The banks know that every signature appearing on a personal check is the signature of the